My name's Jim, and I want to talk to you for a moment about what my experience has been like in walking down the Self-Realization Fellowship path. I began years ago by visiting the Lake Shrine Self-Realization Fellowship property on Sunset Boulevard in Pacific Palisades, California, and I'd always admired its beauty and peace, but quite honestly, I didn't really know much about the organization and what their program was about. Then years later, somehow Yogananda's book, Autobiography of a Yogi, came to my attention, and I bought the audio version of it where you got the wonderful voice of Ben Kingsley narrating it, the man who played Gandhi in the movie. And so I would be driving around and listening to it in my car. So many things that Yogananda said in that book really got my attention and began to get me to recognize what is really going on spiritually behind everything that we're perceiving in the physical visual world. So I then signed up for the Self-Realization Fellowship lessons in approximately September of the year 2010, and I've been meditating and have been officially being on the SRF path since then. I must say that these meditations and the Kriya Yoga have been phenomenal for me, and they have greatly changed me both as a human being and as a spiritual being. At the time I began the lessons, we still needed to wait for approximately 1 full year before we could even learn Kriya Yoga. So there was definitely a lot of anticipation and buildup going on there on my part, wanting to get to the Kriya Yoga that I had heard so much about. So I was studying the lessons along the way for approximately 1.5 to 2 years. Every week the lessons are approximately maybe 4 to 10 or 12, 8.5 by 11 pages that you read. And in many ways, it was kind of like, in a fun way, spiritual boot camp, just getting great training from the wonderful writings of Yogananda and incorporating that into my mind, into my body, my emotions, my spirit. And I absolutely loved the journey along the way, along with experiencing some tremendously powerful quotes from him. In terms of what my mind has been like, my life too, when meditating and doing the program along the way, it's been a spectacular transition. In the beginning, my mind was very noisy, fighting this, my ego wanting to be in control. And over time, it's gotten quieter and quieter, but it definitely still rears its head and gets in the way. And I think that's basically condition normal here. But the longer I've meditated for over the years, and the more consistently I've meditated, the mind has gotten quieter, and I've been able to get to truly a wonderful spiritual place when meditating that has definitely carried over into my day-to-day life too. With respect to my mind being noisy during meditation, I've basically decided that that's going to happen, and that my job, no matter how I'm feeling in the moment during the meditations, is just to continue on and give my best for the entire duration of the meditation, no matter how quiet or noisy my mind will be. And when I adopt this and just do it, I always still end up feeling very peaceful at the end of the meditation. So the mantra to me is basically just do it. Just get the meditations done. I'll feel wonderful and great things are going to happen. Also along the way, I've been to some of the men's retreats at the Men's Center in Escondido, California, including the week-long Kriya meditation retreat, which was a phenomenal experience. And the weekend retreats have been great too. If you have an opportunity to visit the center and do a retreat, I highly recommend it. The center is located in beautiful farm and ranch land in Southern California, away from the hustle bustle of the big city. And every time I've been there, which is a total of 3 times now, including the week-long Kriya Yoga retreat, I've experienced just great, wonderful things, peaceful feelings, and breakthroughs too. Kriya initiation for me was an interesting experience when I got to go to the Mother Center in Los Angeles and officially get initiated into Kriya Yoga. I stayed at a hotel a few miles away, and interestingly, when I checked in at the hotel, the woman working behind the counter was from India. And when I showed her my ID to go along with my credit card, she gasped and said, "My gosh, you and I were born on the exact same day. We're just hours apart with our age." And I had to chuckle and laugh, and that's sunk in a bit more afterwards, the idea of this synchronicity with a woman from India, where of course Yogananda was from, and I happen to be born on the exact same day while I'm registering to stay overnight to go to this initiation. It's just one of those beautiful things that maybe Yogananda orchestrated just to put a smile on my face about the synchronicity of it all happening together. Now, 10, 11 years into the program, my mind and emotions are so much more quieter and peaceful than they used to be. And especially since we've been through some very, very trying times recently in the world, I need this more than ever, and I'm much calmer and more relaxed than I was when the world was actually calmer itself. It's been such an effective, wonderful program for me. And in fact, in recent times, it's interesting. I feel like I've had a big breakthrough 10 to 11 years into doing these meditations and following this program. And the metaphor for me is as if I've been hacking my way through the jungle with a machete, and finally I've hacked into a clearing, and I see the end goal, what I'm looking for. Ideally, liberation at the end of this lifetime, or liberation as quickly as I can get it, whether it be in this lifetime or beyond. And I'm becoming much more focused on making sure that I'm doing the discipline that will maximize the amount of time that I'm meditating and doing what's recommended in this program so that I can live in much greater peace, commune with God at a much higher level, and ideally be liberated at the end of this lifetime or soon thereafter in one or two more lifetimes. It's just a metaphor that's worked very, very good for me. However, my mind still fights me along the way, and I think that that's something that I can constantly expect that it's going to do. However, I'm able, because of the length of time that I've been meditating for, to get my ego to relax much more and let go of the reins and be more okay with me meditating. And I think some of that is because of the length of time I've been meditating for, and the fact that I believe my ego understands to a certain degree that meditating, being calm and peaceful is really where I need to be, and it brings me the best results and has me feel the most calm and peaceful at the same time. I understand now how we are all on our own unique human and spiritual journey here on earth, and that's really the way it's supposed to be. We've all got our karma, we've all got different lives, and each of our lives is really perfect for who we are uniquely as an individual, being born onto this planet with the karma that we come into this planet with. And I know many times people can say, "What do you mean my life is perfect? There's so many things that are wrong that need to be better. How could you say something like that?" And I get it. I understand. However, after a period of time, if you go on the path of this program, there's probably a very good chance that sometime down the road you'll feel very close to what I was just describing, whether or not you feel that exact way about your life right now. So that's the story of my Self-Realization Fellowship journey. I'm so thrilled that I began walking down the path and getting into this program in approximately of September of the year 2010. If you're a veteran of this program or somebody new to it, or maybe somebody thinking about going down the path of this program, hopefully talking about my journey has helped you, given you some insight, or maybe told you some things that you've been able to relate to yourself along the path. And with that being said, I wish you all the best of continued success, peace, love, and happiness on your spiritual journey.